Shidhuangdi, A to Z CO2 Shidhuangdi. B.C. 259 BCE, Jin State, northwestern China. D. 210 BCE, Hebei, born in 259 BCE, Shidhuangdi, also known as Zhaozheng or Yingzheng, was emperor. Reigned 221 to 210 BCE of the Qin dynasty, 221 to 207 BCE, and creator of the first unified Chinese empire. His gigantic funerary compound, now known as the Qin Tomb, located near the modern city of Xi'an, is a significant Chinese archaeological site. Zhaozheng was the son of Zhuangshang, who later became king of the state of Qin in northwestern China. His mother was a former concubine of a rich merchant, Lu Buwei, who, guided by financial interests, managed to install Zhuangshang on the throne, even though he had not originally been designated as successor. The legend, once widely accepted, that Zheng was actually Lu Buwei's natural son is probably a myth. When Zheng, at age 13, formally ascended the throne in 246 BCE, Qin already was the most powerful state, and was likely to unite the rest of China under its rule. The central states had considered Qin to be a barbarous country, but by that time its strong position on the mountainous western periphery enabled Qin to develop a strong bureaucratic government and military organization. This was the basis of the totalitarian state philosophy known as legalism. Zheng was officially declared of age in 238. By 221, with the help of espionage, extensive bribery, and the ruthlessly effective leadership of gifted generals, Zheng had eliminated the remaining 6 rival states that made up China at that time and created a unified Chinese empire under the supreme rule of the Qin. To herald his achievement, Zheng assumed the sacred titles of legendary rulers and proclaimed himself Shidhuangdi, first sovereign emperor. As emperor, he initiated a series of reforms aimed at establishing a fully centralized administration, thus avoiding the rise of independent satrapies, or provinces. He abolished territorial feudal power in the empire, forced the wealthy aristocratic families to live in the capital, Shenyang, Shidhuangdi, and divided the country into 36 military districts, each with its own military and civil administrator. He also issued orders for almost universal standardization, from weights, measures, and the axle lengths of carts to the written language and the laws. Construction began on a network of roads and canals, and fortresses erected for defense against barbarian invasions from the north were linked to form the Great Wall. The last years of Shidhuangdi's life were dominated by an ever-growing distrust of his entourage. At least 3 assassination attempts nearly succeeded, and his increasing isolation from the common people. Almost inaccessible in his huge palaces, the emperor led the life of a semi-divine being. Upon his death, he was buried with more than 6,000 life-size terracotta soldier and horse figures, forming an army for the dead king, in a gigantic funerary compound hewn out of a mountain and shaped in conformity with the symbolic patterns of the cosmos. His death immediately led to the outbreak of fighting among supporters of the old feudal factions, which ended in the collapse of the Qin dynasty and the extermination of the entire imperial clan by 206. Shidhuangdi certainly had an imposing personality and showed an unbending will in pursuing his aim to unite and strengthen the empire. His despotic rule and the draconian punishments he meted out were dictated largely by his belief in legalist ideas. With few exceptions, the traditional historiography of imperial China has regarded him as the villain par excellence, inhuman, uncultivated, and superstitious. Modern historians, however, generally stress the endurance of the bureaucratic and administrative structure institutionalized by Shidhuangdi, which, despite its Official denial remained the basis of all subsequent dynasties in China. Shidhuangdi certainly had an imposing personality and showed an unbending will in pursuing his aim to unite and strengthen the empire. His despotic rule and the draconian punishments he meted out were dictated largely by his belief in legalist ideas. With few exceptions, the traditional historiography of imperial China has regarded him as the villain par excellence, inhuman, uncultivated, and superstitious. Modern historians, however, generally stress the endurance of the bureaucratic and administrative structure institutionalized by Shidhuangdi, which, despite its official denial, remained the basis of all subsequent dynasties in China. Thanks so much. Please subscribe to get more best videos.